between mental illness and evil? Edmund asks. That's a good question. I think we dealt with that a little bit yesterday. And I do think the problem often is we can't often tell. And one of the things I did say when pressed yesterday, having experienced a lot of mental illness in a ministry I was a part of, when the fruit of it, you'll know them by their fruits, when the fruit of it is always destructive, it's always evil, it's always self-destructive. I mean, if you think about how it's described, the demonism in the New Testament, which I do think is a especially concentrated kind of attack upon Christ and the apostles, I think you can just list the way there was a kind of morbidity, nakedness, self-harm, cutting, when the fruit of the mental illness, if you will, is not sitting around and just babbling or, saying things that are just odd or inappropriate, which I see all the time, but when they're dark and they're self-destructive or they're destructive to other people. I gave the example of going every week to this Southside nursing home, take the subway to get there and try to lead worship services, and it was great to watch people who were cogent engage in worship, and it was interesting to watch people that were just mentally had mental illness, as you might put it in modern vocabulary, would just sit and I don't know, the music would be to them something calming, and they were fine. They may not be able to cogently respond to anything I'm saying as I'm teaching or singing, but then there were those that once we got there, they just saw us and they would break out in horrific profanity and screaming. And as I gave an example of my experience, to see that some people had that negative response only when we as Christians showed up, I think you can start to tell that there were people in that room that had mental disorders of various kinds. Their brains didn't work right. And certainly in today's parlance, we would talk about, Alzheimer's and dementia. In the old days, we would just call it that. But there were people that could not think straight and had all kinds of strange proclivities, and they would do things, all kinds of tics. And we might say this person's not thinking straight. They have a mental illness. They've got deterioration in their brains, but you don't have the kinds of horrific, evil things being said when a bunch of Christians show up. So I think we can start to see the fruit of it. What you'll know them by their fruits, obviously, is a discussion about false teachers and real Christians. But I do think we've got to understand the distinction between is the fruit of this illness, so to speak, this abnormality. Is it something that is negative, self-destructive, evil, violent, and even the nudity of the man who wouldn't wear clothes, the demoniac of the Gerasenes, right? That's another good example, right? Clothes were given as a covering to cover our shame, and the things that are done with mental illness where people want to be without clothing. Like you can try and find a kind of clinical discussion of all of that. I mean, I got the DMS-5 laying right over here, and it's got all kinds of things that can label you if you do certain things. But a lot of those things, if they are evil, destructive, categorically, as the Bible would define it, something that is sinful, then I think we've got something going on that's more than just having a mental illness.